Hey everybody, Ryan here at the Northern Villa. Just want to let you know today we're going to be talking about some comics that we enjoy, some art books that we enjoy, and I just want to reiterate, I mentioned it in the podcast, but I just wanted to reiterate that if any of these books sound interesting and you want to pick them up, I urge you to reach out to your local comic book shop before you reach out to a big box store like Amazon or Barnes & Noble online or something like that. So you can always call or email your local shop and ask them if something is still available in print for them to order through Diamond. And if it is, they can order it for you. I recommend, if you're in Arizona, I recommend Cab Comics in northern Arizona or Samurai Comics in the lower half of the state. And both of those stores can order things for you online. So via phone call, you call the stores, you can go on their websites, and they'll be happy to help you out. You're helping out a small business rather than a big box store. And speaking of helping small businesses, a great way to support a small business and get a great gift for a loved one or yourself is to get some original art. So you can go to get some original pages that Scott has done. You can go to his art dealer, jeffmart.com. That's GEOFFMART.com, and click on the link that says Scott Godleski. And for me, you can contact me through my website at super75studios.com. And it's a great way. You can. I'm doing sketches and commissions. I think Scott just has original pages. I don't know what he's doing, but yeah, reach out to us, reach out to his dealer, and get some original art for the holidays. It's a great way to give a unique gift for that person in your life that you love, and also show your support for Scott and I and the podcast, and put food on the table for our kids, our starving kids. All right, thanks, and enjoy the show.
Welcome to another episode of the Illustrious Gentlemen, the place where comic book artists and top blokes Scott Godleski and Ryan Cody talk about life, work, comics, and booze.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 146 of the Illustrious Gentlemen. Stop playing with it. We talked about this. The Illustrious Gentlemen's podcast by myself, Ryan, and my pal Scott. And we're professional comic book artists, and we talk about comics, booze, movies. We complain about things people love, all sorts of fun stuff. You can follow the show on social media at Twitter and Instagram at TIG_show. All the past episodes you can listen to at anchor.fm/TIGshow or any of those big podcatcher sites. We're on Spotify. We're on Stitcher. We fuck with Apple Podcasts, which used to be iTunes. We're on Google Play Podcasts. We're everywhere.
Everywhere.
And if you enjoy the show, everywhere. If you enjoy the show, leave us a review. Tell your friends. Support the show at patreon.com/TIGshow. For just $1 a month, you fools, hop up on it. Just $1 a month. Give us some show topics. That's always seems to be what we lack most, other than confidence and skill. And you can always go to tigshow.com, which I update very infrequently. Scott, my friend, you're back on the booze today. So do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
I'm back on the sauce. All right. I've got Deschutes Obsidian Stout. I don't have... Oh, fuck. I did it again. I can't stop touching my mic.
Yeah, sometimes you got to do it just so you can relax, you know?
Yeah. I don't usually do it in public like this. Deschutes Obsidian Stout. Who's the two-headed wolf from mythology?
Fenrir.
Fenrir.
I think. Or there's also Romulus and Remus, but I think they're twins. I don't think they're two-headed.
That's the nerdiest thing we've ever said on this show. 55 IBU, 6.4 ABV. I don't have anything other than the bottle description, which I will read for you now. Black skies, ominous flows. Ominous flows?
I got ominous flows. That's what my hip-hop name.
Once a month. Dark notions. Venture beneath this bold, stout, sinister exterior to unearth a deeply complex and rewarding ale worthy of immortality. So we'll see. You know, I got in my fridge here. I've got another porter in there, and I've got this stout. I was looking for something not coffee-ish. I don't know if this is going to be not coffee-ish. On the nose, it's got. You know what it smells like?
Victory.
It smells like that peanut butter porter garbage you brought me.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I'm upset right now. It doesn't taste like it though.
Well, that's good. So I got had to kill some time on Friday had to kill some time on Friday last because I wanted to go to a brewery, but I refused to go until their happy hour started. So I had like 15 minutes to kill, so I went to an AJ's Fine Foods, which I don't know if I've ever been into one before.
No, I have not.
And they had some bottles, so I bought a couple single bottles. So I got an Nkasi Brewing Company Slayer Seasonal Ale. It's kind of funny because the word Slayer is written like a heavy metal band, like Slayer. It's a winter ale. It is 7.2%. It is 60 IBU. One of the sites called it something different, like some sort of dunkel or some shit. I don't know. Whatever. I got a Beer Advocate Theater for you.
Oh.
From Nero Fiddled. Nero Fiddled. Nero, okay. I think, is a character from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. So this is if he had a fiddle and he had just got done fiddling and someone said, hey man, what was that guy doing? And they're like, oh, Nero Fiddled. So this is what Nero Fiddled had to say. You've got to hand it to Nkasi. They've done a great job with the name and label on this beer. I just couldn't pass it up. You know, that's kind of why I picked it up, to be honest with you, Nero. Now, it doesn't hurt that I'm a fan of alt beer either, and that I've traveled to German. So I can honestly say that, in my opinion, they've nailed the style. But what style? Well, of course, this is a double alt ale. I think we can forgive them for the false umlaut because Slayer obviously references heavy metal, and they're just joking with it. The obvious connections would be Zoom Urigs Stick Out and Doppelstick, or even Schumautzer's Latzenbier, although not nearly as strong. But what I'm getting at is that the malt and yeast character are correct. You could go back and forth all day doing comparisons and trying to place it, but why bother? It's an alt, and a strong one at that. So I guess it's an alt beer. I really just pulled this thing so I could try to say all those German words.
So
that's really the only reason I pulled it.
Captain Nemo was a character from 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Nero was a Roman emperor.
Oh, okay. Well, they both probably were fans of plucking the strings, you know?
Yes, they were both fiddlers.
Yeah. Yes. They both had roofs.
The fiddling Roman emperor.
I don't have a clean glass to pour this into because fuck it. I like to live dangerously. Yeah, I don't know what any of these styles mean, like alt beer and Doppelstick. They sound German, which gives me concerns because it has no odor to it whatsoever. No, it definitely has a German flavor to it. All right. Stick around. Find out. Slayers. See, I don't know if you've ever been into like metal bands, but see the logo there?
There you go.
They're trying to be cute.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in keeping with we're recording 2 podcasts a week now, so we're skipping our TikTok segment. Everyone can, write letters to your congressman about how unhappy you are with that. Let's move straight into show proper. I thought this would be fun and easy, and I actually had a lot of fun researching for it. So I hope that you read the message and are participating. If not, I'll just talk. So I had an idea of like what's our go-to bookshelf books, and mine are all comics. I don't know if you pulled something else, but what we use for inspiration or motivation, kind of like when we're in the dumps, which is 99% of the time, and we want to pick something up to sort of get back in the flow and get motivated, get pumped, or just put a smile on our face. What do we pull off the shelf? Not necessarily our favorite comics, because I don't have like the first 12 issues of Authority in here, but I wouldn't pull that down to get pumped about work because I don't draw like Brian Hitch. Like I don't
Sure.
You know, so that wouldn't do anything for me except entertain me. But what I'm looking for is something that's going to be like, when I'm put it down, I'm like, all right, now I want to draw a page. Like, now I want to draw something, a page, sketch. That's right. Gets the blood pumping.
Right. Something that motivates you and gets you excited. Yeah.
That's right. So,
like Justin Bieber's biography.
That's right. Slap it around a little bit, get it going. All right, what's first on your? What did you pull? What do you got?
I do have some stuff out on the table behind me here, and one of the books I've had kind of just within arm's reach forever has been The Art of Hellboy. I love that book. Just big, oversized, soft cover. I don't know where it stops. It might be around the 7th collection. It might even be before that is where it stops collecting things. But yeah,
I don't.
It's
I don't
great.
have that.
It's just great.
Yeah. I feel like that's something that should be in my collection, but I don't have it. So maybe I'll add it to my Amazon Prime wish list.
I got it. Oh, I got it at. I think I got it at the first Phoenix Con I went to, like the new Phoenix Con, which would have been 07, something like that, was when they came back and Mike was there, and I got a copy from him, and it's got a little Hellboy sketch in the front cover.
Was that the one that was in Mesa, and they were kind of across from the food vendor? The table would have been right across from the
maybe
food vendor, maybe.
But yeah, it was in Mesa at the Civic Center.
Yeah.
I missed that venue.
That's interesting.
I like that venue.
Yeah, that was the same show that we didn't know each other then, but that was the same show that I interrupted him and his wife while they were eating lunch, and I gave him a copy of Villains because I'm an idiot. Oh. And he gave me a copy of one of his sketchbooks. So I have like the second volume of his sketchbook. Sweet. That he was nice enough to trade me, and he stopped eating and shook my hand. Very nice. He did not have to be that nice because I was a fucking asshole.
You didn't wipe his mouth with your book?
No. I would have wiped his mouth. Whatever he wanted to wipe his mouth with, I would have. Right. You know. But I feel like that's a book I should have, but I don't. No, I should go to my local comic shop and ask them to order it for me, is what I should do. So any of these books we're talking about, people, if you're interested in them, contact your local comic shop. See if they're able to order it before you get it on Amazon. Support your local comic shop before you support the global non-tax-paying conglomerate that is Amazon, even though I'm waiting on my microphone from Amazon to show up any minute now. Yeah, so you said it's oversized. Was it like a 9x12? It's not 11x17. It's not.
No, it's not 11x17. But yeah, it's
right.
Probably thereabouts.
Like behind the scenes stuff, development sketches, that kind of stuff.
It's great. Like it's soft cover. It's probably something like 144 pages, maybe. Oh, it's got page numbers, so I could easily find that out. It's about just shy 200 pages, but cool. I'm a big fan of Mike's early stuff when it was a little more rendering and so. Even some hatching in there, sort of. There's a lot of that, a lot of the concept stuff, early Hellboy and the other guys whose names I can't. BPRD stuff.
Sure.
Great, just great.
All right, I'll roll into what is actually first on my list, coincidentally enough, is The Chain Coffin and Others, Hellboy.
That's a good one.
I don't know what volume this is because it is.
It's 2, I believe.
Okay, so I pulled this ahead of the Seed of
3.
Destruction.
I'm sorry, it must be 3.
Okay,
it's Seed and then
Wake the Devil. No, and then the Lost Army is a book. Right. Okay. Wow, fascinating stuff. So I pulled this because I think Mike excels at short stories. My love of Hellboy is not the overall grand storyline of Hellboy. My love of Hellboy is the 6, 12, 18, 24 page stories that are just punching monsters and just being cool. So that's what this book is full of. It's got the Corpse, it's got the Iron Shoes, it's got the Almost Colossus, which I think introduces Roger the Homunculus.
Wolves of St. August is in that too, right?
Wolves of St. August, The Chained Coffin.
I love that story.
Yeah.
Love it.
So much great stuff. It's great stuff and it's digestible. Like I said, when I pick up these books, I'm not necessarily reading the story. So this just jumps around to so many different stories. There's so many great visuals. You got Hellboy with the corpse on his back. You got Hellboy hitting the little boy with the horseshoe on his head to make sure he's not the fairy. Just so many great visuals in this book. So super digestible. Peak Mignola, 94 to 98 era Mignola. And it has a Kevin Nolan pen up in the back with a mermaid. So
Nice.
It's cool. My copy is worn, which it should be. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, page for page, I think there may not be a better 20 pages of a book ever done than The Corpse.
It's great. I think Mike for a while might have, I don't know what it is now, but I think that was his favorite for a long time too. And obviously this is a collection. I think The Corpse and the Iron Shoes came out as a single issue, two stories in one issue. Almost Colossus was a 2-issue miniseries. So it's The Wolves of St. August was if you want, because this book has a lot of different colors. If you want black and white Mike Mignola, you can get Wolves of St. August in Dark Horse Presents. It was in black and white. You got some there. You got some there you want to show?
Yeah. That's one of my favorite images.
Yeah, the bloody
wolf, the
right.
wolf-head ghost.
Yeah.
And that's the best part about it, is that they're fucking ghosts. Werewolf ghosts.
It's not bad enough that they're just werewolves or ghosts. They got to be both. So yeah, that's my go-to. That's my go-to Mignola. What's next on your list, pal?
I don't know.
Friend?
God damn it! I could talk about. We're in a bad spot because I want to talk about this now. Like that's all I want to do is talk about Wolves of St. August. There's a bit in there where Hellboy is with BPRD girl. I don't know her name, the blonde one. That's just a person.
Oh, Kate Corrigan, I think.
Yeah, and they're like in the cathedral walking around, and she sees the wolf head ghost standing there, and she gets spooked. Then Hellboy looks over and it's gone. And that was a legit jump scare when you're reading it. I was like, holy fuck, what was that? And I'm in total control of the pacing. I could just look back at the last panel. But no, he got me. You got me, Mike. You done good.
Yeah, what I like about that story is when he starts shredding his skin off and...
Oh, it's so gross.
I'm trying to find
So
the page
good.
you talked about. Oh yeah, she starts crying. She sees it. She collapses in fear and starts crying. He runs over and there's nothing there. And then he says, "What's the matter?" And she says, "Sorry, my first ghost." Yeah, like it's
It got me. I love that bit.
Yeah, yeah, because it's a great story told in a universe with established rules. Like she knew it was a ghost, but she knew she was going to encounter ghosts. She saw the ghosts, and then it still fucked her up. Like that's just great stuff. Great stuff.
Yeah. I was on edge reading that story. I still am.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. I think I have it in. I think I have the Dark Horse Presents issue somewhere too, where it's in black and white. It's good both ways. Much like whatever other things that are good two ways. All right. All right, man. What's next? Do you have something else on your? What's next on your list? I hope you have something else because that was only one thing.
Another thing I keep around is I don't look at it too much anymore. Was the Modern Masters edition of the Kevin Nolan one from Tomorrow's Publishing. I remember checking out the Art Adams volume from my local library at some point in my youth. I wish that I had just kept it and made my parents pay the $15 fine or whatever, because now it's like $70 on eBay.
Right.
But yeah, it's nice. He's the kind of guy where his early stuff isn't really like him, like what I would associate with him. It's looser and it's a little more liney and hatchier and stuff. But he's one of those guys that has positively grown into his style. I feel like a lot of guys go the other way, but he's one of those guys that keeps getting more interesting and better.
Yeah, he's kind of one of those dudes. Off the top of my head here, he's one of two inkers I can think of. Well, the best thing is they can also pencil like three. It's one of three then. The three guys I could think of, Kevin Nolan, Klaus Janson, and Bill Sienkiewicz, can all pencil better than most, can all ink better than most. But when I see them ink other creators, I can almost instantly tell that they're the inker on the project, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of inkers have a style, but I couldn't tell, like, modern Silvestri or modern Jim Lee, I couldn't tell if it's Scott Williams inking or, Danny Mickey or something. Like, I can't tell modern inkers apart the way I can tell, like, a Kevin Nolan page, a Bill Sienkiewicz page, or, like I said, a Klaus Janson page. Like, they can take over pages in all the best ways. It's funny, you just ran and pulled that book out, too.
Yeah, I have all of this shit just lying around. There's a little section in here where somebody named Dave Taylor did the pencils for some whatever. It's probably like a DC Comics Presents or one of those, filler sort of titles.
Right.
But yeah, he gets the pages and they've got the pencils and then they've got scans of his inks. And if you're not like Jose Garcia Lopez or Joe Quesada or something, and your editor assigns your pages to Kevin Nolan to ink, just go back to school, go to Barber College, go find some other way to earn a living, because that means you stink. Because he's gonna redraw the fuck out of that stuff.
Yeah,
these pages look nothing like the pencils. He redrew everything.
Yeah, is that for like a Batman Superman like issue?
It's Robin and Superman.
Yes, yeah, it's like a World's Finest annual or something like that. Like I think I have that issue.
Yeah,
because I know Dave Taylor's work because I think he did like
embarrassing.
I think he did like not that I'm gonna talk shit about any artist because I'm the least of the bunch, but yeah, I think he did like some Ultraverse stuff. Maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, I have that issue, and I remember getting that issue, and I got it, and I think I was a little disappointed in it only because it wasn't all Kevin Nolan. Like at that point, I knew Kevin Nolan's stuff, so I was like, oh, it's a little, but he can only do what he can do. Like he's only getting a rate to ink. I'm sure he's not getting a rate to redraw pages, which essentially he's doing. Or redrawing panels.
Yeah, and it's this is Legends of the DC Universe.
Yes,
and it's even like he thinks your pencils are so shitty that even though it's from the era where the lettering comes before the inks,
right?
He's like, I don't care that there's pencils already there and word balloons already there. I'm gonna do what you did, but I'm gonna do it so much better. I mean, he really does seem like just the nicest guy, but he's kind of a secret asshole, I think.
Well, I think he's just so good that he doesn't want to attach his name to something that's going to look like shit in the end. So I think that's why he that's why he does that, or that's why I think he might like to color a lot of his stuff now. Like I think he's just like, if it's going to be brought up to me to sign somewhere and I'm going to be associated with it, I can't have it looking.
But okay, yes. I will say though too that there's pages in here from Steve Ditko that he inked over the top of, and it's Steve Ditko, so he just inks it. But
and he
gets the Dave Taylor pages and he says, "Who the fuck is Dave Taylor?"
Right. Yeah. That's a power move. I like that. That's kind of cool. It's like when I drew something to ink and I gave it to you for the cover and you redrew and inked it.
Never change, Kevin. Never change.
Yeah. Okay. Next on my list is another one of those examples of I prefer a different volume, but I'm sticking to what's currently on my bookshelf because I can't find it since I moved. The Umbrella Academy. So I have Apocalypse Suite on here. I do prefer the second volume, Dallas, but like I said, I can't find that anywhere. So it's Matt Fraction. No, sorry. I was thinking of Casanova. So Gerard Way and Gabriel Ba with, I think this one has Dave Stewart on colors. Yeah, Dave Stewart, who shows up a lot in my list for coloring. Peak Gabriel Ba. All these artists and all these books are going to be Mignola disciples, essentially. So Dallas is a cool one. It's got some cool Vietnam era stuff with a fatter space boy, and I just love it. Like it's alternative super. So they always say the thing publishers always say is superheroes don't sell unless you're Marvel, DC. So this is a good example of a new superhero team created from the ground up. That's a little different, a little alternative, for lack of a better word. And
that's what you have to be.
Right. But you also need to have really good art. And this is Gabriel Ba going full fucking Mignola, but with cartooning. Like if Mignola went full cartoonish, this would be it. Shit like that would be it. Like just super cartoony, great spotted blacks, great shit. Oh, there's a Derek Friedolf's sketch in there. Shout out to Detective Comics inker Derek Friedolf's. I have a Hulk sketch in this copy of Umbrella Academy. I should probably put that somewhere. So yeah, I'm a big fan of Gabriel Ba's stuff. On whatever he works on, I really love his work. So this is something I flip through. Like I said, I don't really read it, but I flip through it. It's good. Dallas is a superior volume. Anything else? Do you want me to keep going while you think of other things, or?
One that I didn't have on my list, and I'll run this after the Modern Masters book, is Batman Black and White. I think this is volume 1.
Ooh, good one.
It must be, because it doesn't say volume 2. But yeah. It's got a Bruce Timm story. It's got
is that the one with the Brian Bolland story with the kid?
Yeah.
And
Brian's got a book in here. Matt Wagner. Fucking lot of guys. But I keep it around specifically for the Kevin Nolan story, Monsters. I think, I don't know. If I were going to hunt down and own specific pieces of art, I would be looking for these pages.
Good luck.
8 pages, I think, but good lord. It's just pretty as shit.
Did he write that too? Did he do everything in that? Is it? I think it might be
he did. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, no. Jan Strnad. Jan Strnad wrote it.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good volume. I like is that the one with the Howard Chaykin story in it too, where the Good Samaritan is killing people for being rude? That might be volume 2.
Howard has one. Brian Stelfreeze.
Yeah.
Lots of people. Go check out the Batman Black and Whites. I don't know if there's more than 2. I have the first 2. Maybe there's 3.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have the first 2 also. Yeah, I love that Brian Bolland story. It just shows that Batman is so caught up in the super villains and the big scale thing that it could be a 15-year-old with a hunting rifle that takes out Batman someday. He's not fucking bulletproof. Yeah. That's a great volume. I have it on my bookshelf too. It's a great volume, and it's great to look at. If you just want to study black and white stuff, if you just want to study spotting blacks, moving the eye, shit like that.
Yeah, it's like it's like a lunch buffet of comic book art. There's a little something for everybody in here.
No matter what weird shit you get into, there'll be something in there you like. All right, well, we'll take our break, and then I'll come back. I got 3 more, so we'll take our break. We'll come back.
I also have 3.
Ooh, all right. So we'll be right back after these messages. All right. So we're back. My next thing is, again, something that might have one of the best overall teams involved in it. Ran for 12 issues. Again, I don't read it as often as I just look at it, but it is the Next Wave Agents of Hate Ultimate Collection, all 12 issues. Warren Ellis, Stuart Emanen, Wade Von Grawbadger, and Dave McCaig on colors. Goddamn all-star foursome there. Maybe one of the best creative teams ever put together. And the fun part about it is the whole point of it is just to have fun. Warren Ellis, I think he's quoted as saying, I took all the plot and all the story and all the seriousness out of the Authority, and then I wrote Next Wave. It's absurd. It's total fun. There's a point in here where in the span of 2 pages, Boom Boom blows up a cat, and then her and Machine Man start beating the shit out of a cop. Like, it's fucking great. Like, they just start kicking the cop and, like, punching him and shit. There's a panel in here that it shows where a young Monica Rambeau, a.k.a. Photon, a.k.a. Captain Marvel, when she was a little kid, killed a dog because it wouldn't stop yapping. Like, she blew it up with her photon powers. I mean, they say that it's not supposed to be in normal Marvel continuity, but they have referenced it in other Marvel books, so who knows. But yeah, it's just fucking great. There's like there's a theme song in the back with like lyrics and like notes for your guitar. I think it was written by the editor of the series at the time. They fight Fing Fang Foom. They fight like a dinosaur in a smoking jacket who has a gun. And this is where I first started noticing Stewart's work changing from the more Adam Hughesy, realistically, like...
Yeah, the Adventures of Superman stuff.
Right, Adventures of Superman, that book, and after Shock Rockets was very sort of safe and tame. And this is where I started really seeing the first, like, super cartoony, super stylized Stuart Emon. And when at Marvel right now, because I read some of those X books, he's the biggest current, I think, influence on comic book artists. There's so many guys kind of aping, not necessarily straight up aping, but aping a lot of what him and Grawl Badger did on these books. Super great stuff. I mean, I love this book to death. It's dog-eared. Like I said, you get all 12 issues in one volume. $35 for 12 issues. It's a character called Dirk Anger. Love that. One of the characters' name is Captain, and I guess he used to be called like Captain Fuck. And then he says it. He says, but it's like Captain with 4 like expletive signs. So you don't. I assume it's fuck. Could be shit. Anyways, he talks about how he used to be Captain Fuck, and then he ran into Captain America at a bar, and Captain America beat him so badly he beat the fuck out of him. So now he's just the captain. That's the whole story. So funny shit like that. I'm down for it. It's got Boom Boom, who I like from New Mutants. It's got Elsa Bloodstone. It's just a great book. All right, Scott, what's next on your list?
We'll stay with the same theme. I've got Sword of Azrael.
Ooh.
So the Joe Quesada, Kevin Nolan team up.
Yeah, there's a theme so far.
It's so interesting to me to see. I don't know. I love Joe Q's layouts and his pacing and sort of the blocking and the way he uses angles and stuff, and then to see
right
Kevin's just super sexy lines over the top of it. It's marvelous. They seem like a pair that just wouldn't work at all, but really together they're dynamite.
Yeah, it's got to be nice to be like Joe Quesada, especially his early stuff was so you knew he's going to be good. Like he's going to be good. He's good. And then early in your career, you get paired with like an inker/finisher that can shepherd you and kind of walk you through your big 2 project, after Valiant stuff or whatever. That might even be before their Valiant stuff, but he's already going to be good, but then he gets to see his work finished and polished in a way that's just got to be like, oh shit, like I could take it to another level now. I can do so much. I could take this so much further than maybe I previously thought. Like it's almost like a mentoring thing when you pair an inker of that caliber with a young up and coming artist. Like it's just,
yeah. And I would be curious to see the pencils, but looking at it, I really feel like everything Joe put down is still there. It's just Kevin's lines over the top of it. The line weight that he chooses to use, and really that's it, because everything else just it still smacks of Joe. And I'm looking at the cover here, and I can imagine Kevin sitting down to ink it and being like, why does he have so many teeth? Like, I really need to change this. But he didn't. He just threw some ink on it.
Right.
So, yeah. It's so it just knowing what each of these guys do and seeing this, it's just it's so interesting to look at.
Yeah, that's probably what sparked your love of Azrael.
Yeah, plus Azrael is super fucking dope. The costume is just...
Yeah.
It's the bee's knees, yo.
Sure.
Even today, even right now.
It's got the cape that doesn't do shit because it has so many holes in it. Like it's like it's like Hawk's Cave and Rob Liefeld's Hawk and Dove. It's just like they're just strips of
it's
fabric.
Just pieces, yeah.
Right.
It's so good. It's so good.
We're gonna take away the one positive thing of a cape is to like capture air and let you do things, and then like we're just gonna get rid of that. It's like the subway banner in front of a subway with all the slits in it, so the wind doesn't tear it up. That's what that cape is.
I don't know what these things do. These just
the abs
pieces flying around like they're a pain in the ass to draw. Every time I draw the costume, I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Right.
With these little pieces, but
right.
I wouldn't change a thing.
No. It's well documented you would love to be part of an Azrael reboot. DC, get on that shit. All right.
Call me Jamie.
So this is gonna be the rarest item on here. I don't know how many people have this. I don't even know if I knew it existed until I had him out, or he came to one of the Acmes, one of my favorite artists. I've been blessed at the Acme shows, Arizona Comic Mini Expos shows, that I've had so many of my favorite artists. One of them, top of the list, is Cory Walker. So I pulled the hardcover Science Dog from Image Comics, Robert Kirkman and Cory Walker. I think some of these were backups in Invincible, and then they did a one-shot, and then they collected all the backups and the one-shot into this. So it's essentially only 2 issues. It's like 40 pages, I think. Hardcover, slightly oversized, maybe 9x12. Maybe 8.5 by 11. I'm not quite sure, but it's like peak. It's like peak Cory Walker. Like I wanted to put Devastator or Destroyer. They did a Marvel Max Destroyer series, him and Robert. But I pulled this because it really caters to Cory's kind of cartooning. The first half of the book is colored by Dave Stewart, so it goes back to Dave Stewart showing up multiple times on my list here. But it's just like. Normally, I wouldn't be into this shit. Normally, I wouldn't be into like anthropomorphic. What's the word? Anthropomorphic character, but it's just so good. And I think one thing I really love about this book, besides, I mean, it's got like, it's got so much good shit. Like, it has a storyline that involves like an alternate version / future version of the main character, which I'm a sucker for. All sorts of great shit. I mean, it's just so good. Aliens, robots, like those cute but not super sexy like Cory Walker girls. Like it's just got fucking everything you would want. Look at that. Like how cool is that? Like a little dog man with a jetpack with like a beard. Even though he's a dog, you could tell he has a beard. Like how do you pull that shit off? Cory pulled it off. Like he pulled it off in spades. So yeah. Science Dog by Skybound and Image, Cory Walker, Robert Kirkman, Dave Stewart, Chris Chuckry, who I've never heard the name before, colored the second half. Could be a pseudonym. Maybe Cory just colored it himself. I don't know. Sorry, Chuck. But yeah, everything you need to know why Cory Walker is one of the best in the business. Miss you, Cory. One last thing about Cory is he's everyone I know's one of their favorite artists. So every comic artist, if any con you're at, if you want to look cool in front of your other comic pals and you just don't know what to say, just start talking about Cory Walker and everyone is going to shut the fuck up and start talking about Cory Walker. So what a dude. Man Rocket too. He's kind of he's got it all. Okay, what's next on your list, buddy?
Next on my list, I have the DC Comics Guide to Penciling Comics by Klaus Janson.
Second appearance of Klaus Janson in this podcast.
I don't know. It's not just by him, obviously. I mean, they use a lot of examples from DC books for things.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of... when you talk about composition and contrast and stuff, there's a lot of Eduardo Rizzo stuff. There's a lot of Jack Kirby stuff. Blah-de-da-blah. But just as, like, as somebody that feels like they need to relearn how to draw every day when they sit down to work.
Right.
I find this to be sort of a nice a nice kind of guidebook, sort of a not necessarily do it this way, but don't do it the way you've been doing it sort of book.
I think Klaus is also he's also the listed author of the DC inking book too. So he's just kind of like
correct.
He's just the I'm so good at everything and so smart and been around so long, I can school your ass.
Yeah, there is a bit in here where he uses reference for one of his penciled pages. He actually shoots it himself, so there's a picture of him.
Oh, old school.
I wish I could find it now, but it doesn't matter. But I guess the thing is, kiddos, don't be afraid of reference. It's your friend.
Don't. Yeah, unless the only time I notice reference at all is when I can tell what it's supposed to be referenced from. So like Greg Land, I'm like, oh, that's obviously a photo somewhere. Like that's obviously what that is. So just don't. I'm not even saying don't trace. If you got to trace, but you better draw it so that it doesn't look like you traced a photo, and maybe don't pull it from the top 2 search results in Google Image. Do some Bing, go do a deep dive on Bing or something like that. But yeah, have the final thing, because I've seen blue lines I've seen original pages from established creators that I would never think of as being like quote unquote tracers or heavy reference guys, that has a pasted blue line photo under the inks, like for backgrounds. But they just ink it in a way. They ink it in the way that you wouldn't know that it's traced.
Yes, and just sourcing stuff. Like
right.
I promise you may think you know what a fire hydrant looks like, but you don't. You're gonna draw it out, and you're gonna be like, "What the fuck is that?"
Yeah, I drew a panel yesterday of a dude yelling, and the face in that position, the yelling position, is so awkward.
It's hard.
In real life. Like, it's hard to draw. So I fucking referenced that shit, and I'm like, so this is how it's done. This is how it's supposed to look. And I would have never been able to draw it the way it's supposed to look without the reference, because
that's right.
It just doesn't. It doesn't naturally look right when you're trying to draw, because the face, it's so ugly. It's so awkward when it looks that way. So yeah, use reference.
I choose this one over the How to Draw Comics the Marvel Way. I think this is a better reference book, in my opinion.
But maybe if Marvel hired you for like a 12-issue run, your opinion could be swayed.
That is correct.
Your loyalties could be bought for the right amount of money. Okay, last on my list is something I'm not going to hold up because it would blow out my elbows. Is the Chris Samnee Daredevil Artist Edition from IDW. If anyone's seen these before, they're 11x17 hardcover books. It collects 5 issues of Daredevil, of Mark Waid and Chris Samnee's Daredevil, issues 23 through 27. And it also has, at the back of each issue, it has all the layouts for that issue as well. So it's probably 150 pages or more. And his layouts are essentially his pencil, so it's cool. You could flip to the back of an issue, look at a layout, and then go back to that page full size, and it's photostated, it's not scanned, so you can see what's on the board under the inks. And you can see that he's just taking his layouts, blowing them up, and going straight to ink. So you could see like the decision-making changes he makes in the inks. You can see like if any whiteout is used, you can see where that's used on the page. You can see... it basically is a masterclass of decision making, because it also comes with a script book. So if you really wanted to get nerdy about it, and you have a big ass table, because the script book is also 11x17, so you have to have a big fucking table.
Oh my God.
But you can have them both. So you can look at the script, you can flip back, look at and on the script has he does his thumbnails on the script page. So real tiny on a script page. I'm holding up my fingers. Real tiny on the script page will be a thumbnail that's probably like 1 by 3 inches or 1.5 by 3 inches. So you can look at the script, you can look at the thumbnail, you can look at the layouts, and you can look at the inks. And it's just a masterclass. It's great. It's got cover sketches. And as someone who does both line art and coloring work, I get something out of both sides of it. I can see how he inks a page, which I think is his strongest suit, although he's a great cartoonist. But as a colorist, I can also see, like, on that panel, if I was hired to color that panel, the gloves have to pop from the face. Like if someone's choking somebody, I'd have to color the gloves in a completely different color to make them pop from the face or something like that. So I get something out of it as a colorist. I get something out of it as like a line artist. It's great. I mean, they're outrageously expensive. It's the kindest gift I've ever gotten in my life. It is the nicest gift I've ever gotten. Next to like my, right behind that is like my John Paul Leon, like original page that I have. So it's just like, they're hard to come by unless you want to drop the coin. I don't know why they're so expensive. I think maybe they only make X amount, so the expensiveness is the aftermarket. Like if you wanted to get a Kirby Artist Edition, it's like $400 on Amazon, or like, I don't know, they're just outrageous. So this is just, I love it. But like I said, it's something I like to look at, but it's not something I can just pull out all the time. I know a thing or two about things that are so large and cumbersome that they're hard to deal with every day. So this is like that. It's like it's a special occasion, that I pull it out, slap it on the table, flip through it. But it's a goddamn beaut. It's it would probably do as much for a beginning penciler or inker as like a 12-week class would do if you just study it. Look what's written, look what's drawn. And again, Chris Somney is one of the best. So that's it. I had an honorable mention, but I can do that after you do your next one.
Yeah, mine is also an honorable mention. It's not something I have in front of me. I haven't looked at it in a while because, like I said, my shit's all packed up in a box still. But one of the books I remember kind of just pulling out from time to time, like whenever my eye ran across it, was the first volume of Never Men from Guy Davis. I found it at Bookman's at some point.
Yes.
And it's just like Guy's stuff is just so unusual and just so kind of him, but that book is just so bananas and weird.
Right.
That it's on top of his stuff being his stuff and being interesting, the stuff that he's drawing is just so fun and wacky.
Yeah.
It's just a pleasure to just look at all the time. He uses so many lines. There's so much shit all over the place that every time I look at it, there's something else. It's like rewatching Ghostbusters. Every time I watch it, I get a joke that I didn't get before. It's the same thing with Nevermen.
Yeah, Nevermen is kind of like it's like robots, but they're like monsters. It's like monster robots. It's like, so if you dig like noirish crime stories, but you also dig robots, but you also dig kaiju. But that book is great. Yeah, it's also on my bookshelf. It might not be on my bookshelf, but it's in one of my things. I love it. I've read it several times. Great choice. Whew, deep dive. I like that. My honorable mention is the Wednesday Comics hardcover. Remember when DC Comics came out with the folding newspaper comic? I think it was one a week.
That's sexy.
I don't even know. I must have got it on sale or something. I can't, or else I got like a movie check and just went ape shit because it's a $50 book, and anyone who knows me knows I ain't paying a $50 book. But it's a...
Look at that thing. It's bigger than you.
If I drew a comic book page and I had gray wash on it and it warped a little bit, I would put it in the middle of this for like a couple days, and it would flatten the page out. And I like this mostly for the audacity of it, the experimentation of it, the idea of it. It's got some great stories in it. Overall, just the sort of like out of the box, we're going to do this project. It's going to be weird. We're going to do it. It's got Brian Stelfreeze, Joe Quinones, Carl Kerschel, all sorts of guys. Joe Cooper, Paul Pope doing Adam Strange. Just cool shit. There's a one-page creeper backup by Eric Canetti. I think at one point they're going to have some in the can in case people didn't meet their deadlines. So I don't know if he did more than one page, but there's a one-page Eric Canetti creeper story in there. Just a cool book to have. It's a cool book to have on my shelf, even though it doesn't fit on my shelf. That and the Somni Artist Edition have to go on top of the bookshelf because they don't fit anywhere because they're huge.
Insert joke here.
All of these comics that we've talked about, or books, can be ordered from your, like I said, your local comic shop. Any other honorable mentions or any other thoughts, or is it time to wrap this bad boy up?
Nah, I think we're at the end
for this week. Not forever.
Sure.
Just for now. Just for today. How is your Deschutes Obsidian Stout?
Okay, I guess. Average stouty, I suppose. It's got the toasted malt taste, so it's not as heavy as like a Guinness, which is I would imagine like what everybody's like baseline stout is probably when you think of stout.
Right.
That's usually what everybody imagines. It's got a bit of like a soapiness to it that I'm not really feeling. But it's fine. 3, it's fine. Probably be good with food. I can imagine this being an okay like dinner beer, the burger or something. It feels like a heavier like Scotch ale. Like I remember that used to be a thing. That was like my jam in my younger years.
Yeah.
Scotch ales, and I really don't do them anymore because they're like if you were to eat like an old library book, it probably tastes like a Scotch ale.
Right.
And this is just kind of that, but more. But it's fine. It's fine. 3.
Yeah, my Ninkasi Slayer Winter Ale is also probably very similar to yours. It's kind of dark, but it's a little reddish. It's fine. It's definitely German, whatever the fuck Nero Fiddled called it. I'm sure it's everything that he called it. A double alt, a Steak alt, a Doppelstick, a Latzenbier. I'm sure it's all those things. It's fine. It's fine. It's not anything. There's not anything wrong with it, but it's not really seasoned. Doesn't give me anything like this is a seasonal beer. It's a winter beer, and it doesn't give me anything that makes it think that it's like anything other than a regular beer.
Really, no sort of spiciness. There's nothing in there like
no,
whatever cinnamon or whatever.
No, I don't.
Winter spices you think of. I'm bad with
no like
stuff.
No warming spices. I feel like I could just drink this in the summer and it'd be just a regular beer, you know, like it's whatever. It definitely has that too pungent, but on the taste, not on the smell. Doesn't taste like it smells. It's fine. I'll give it a 2.5. I didn't love it, but it was 7.2%, and they did try hard on the label.
I hear about Fortnite tryhards a lot.
Yes. So this is a try hard in the design category, which I appreciate. Ninkasi is a good beer for the most part. So 2.5. It just wasn't my thing, but it's not like I didn't drink the whole thing. All right. Anything else, dude? When's this one? This one's gonna come out when? On the 4th. Nothing. It's December. I wanted to make a quick thing. It's December, and it's my favorite month, but also my most depressing month. So maybe I'm comfortable being sad. But I think a lot of people get sad in December. So if you're feeling sad or feeling bummed out, a friend of ours we had an email thread with kind of mentioned that, you know, he was feeling a little depressed or maybe a little uncertain. Just try to chill out this month. Tell your relatives to fuck off. Get some help if you need it. Get online help. Go see a doctor. Do whatever you got to do. Shit gets rough as the month goes on. Fucking Christmas is in the middle of the week, so there goes your whole week if you're a freelancer. It's going to be a tough month, but I'm determined. I also have no work. I got like work this week, and then who knows what's going to happen next week. So let's try to stay positive is what I'm saying, kids. Let's keep it on the posy tips, right?
I have nothing to add to this.
Is that the kind of like when you were 10 years ago at the 10-year challenge, when you were a young 25-year-old, 26-year-old buck? Did you have tips in your hair? Did you have posy tips in your hair? Were they like blonde and shit?
I mean, like frosted tips. I had bleached my hair at some point, and I had let it grow out.
Oh,
so I had unintentional that sort of stuff.
Oh, I would love to see you with bleached blonde hair.
I looked like a fucking asshole.
That'd be so fucking great. Oh my god.
With just the chin goatee and the
Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
Fieri. Yeah.
I look like a boy band fucker.
Yeah. He's the mayor of Flavortown, but you were like the city councilman of Flavortown.
I had the single earring. Yeah.
Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, I got to make Facebook friends with your sister and get I got to get photos or something. Start emailing your mom. Well, become pen pals. Okay. All right. Yeah. So I guess I'll talk to you next week.
Great.
4 more episodes of our other podcast that we're so excited for, and then this one, which we're exceptionally excited for. So, all right, man. You know what to do.
Yeah. Goodbye, Scott.
Goodbye, Scott. TakeShow.com.